Hi there, I'm Dannii. So glad that you could be here, and this is a roundup of all my memories of neon nights. I was signed up to do the guest vocal for Riva for a track called Who Do You Love Now, and I heard this track. It was a fantastic dance track. I knew that it was really going to work with me, work in the clubs, really liked the whole image of it. The video we did on set, most of it's chroma key, which in TV land means it's all shot against a green screen, and then we put the surroundings in later on. And it's very hard to get an atmosphere of performance. It's kind of like dancing by yourself in a club with no lights on and no people around you and no music. But I was really, really happy with the video. And from the success of this video, it at the time was my highest chart entry, #3 in the UK. I got signed on with London Records to do a whole album called Neon Nights. After the success of Who Do You Love Now, I got the opportunity to go into the studio and write and record the Neon Nights album. It's my 4th solo album, and it's the first time that I'd actually sat down to co-write a whole album. I've never done that before, and it was an amazing experience. So we kicked off the album with Put the Needle on It. This was recorded in Sweden with Corpy and Black Cell, and the video was an amazing, amazing shoot. Again, a lot was shot on chroma key, and I guess the main part for Put the Needle on It is that you have to have a record in the filming. So we had the idea of me lying on the record player because it fitted in with our whole kind of dance music vibe. I think it looked very, very sexy in the end, and you can see in the footage there's me spinning around on a green disc and everyone saying, no, 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 it'll look really good. So obviously at this point you have to have a lot of trust and faith in your director that when they do the post-production and do all the computer graphics that it is going to look amazing. And I was absolutely blown away. The whole start of the video, how the needle goes on the record, you go down inside the groove, and then you find me, and then later me spinning on the record. Absolutely blown away. Alongside the video comes all of the press, and this involves shooting the single cover, posters that are going to go on the street, press shots that are going to go out to the magazines to let everyone know the single and the album's out there. I find this the hardest part of what I do, and a lot of people don't believe me because they're like, you've done so many photos, but actually for me the creative parts of the writing or the performing I feel comes naturally to me. Doing the photographs, although the end product looks one way, to actually get there is a long process. It can be very boring. This shoot was done in a big cold studio. At some points I was dipped in water. We had a pregnant photographer, we had a dog running around. I had my Australian hairdresser Terence Renati looking after me. I had Liz Martins doing my makeup, who looks after me all the time. And all the crew know that they've got to keep me laughing. They've got to do funny, silly things to keep me entertained, because it's kind of hard to keep your focus going for that long in the day. The next single's coming out, and again, going back to doing more videos, press shoots. The video clip for I Begin to Wonder was incredible. The night before, I have to say, I was in about 6 hours with a hairdresser to have long hair extensions put in, which turned out fantastic. There's a scene in the video where I'm spinning on top of a box very high up with long hair blowing in my face and with a big pair of scissors cutting the hair off. I can't tell you, after they'd spun me around a few times, I was like, wow! Ended up looking really good. There's also a tunnel scene where we thought we'd have me sort of in a roof air vent. And this bit I found really, really fun because it's kind of an aggressive part of the video, and I got to bang around a lot and kick out sort of screens of it, and I definitely did feel like Lara Croft. So we did a huge photo shoot for the single cover of I Begin to Wonder and Neon Nights and all the press shots. So there were an incredible amount of costume changes during the day. to shoot all of this. The Neon Nights album cover was shot at the end of the day. We copied a famous old shot of Liza Minnelli from a famous club in New York called Studio 54, which sort of kicked off the whole dance scene and the whole glamour club going out. And there was a shot of her crawling across the floor, and we loved this. So copied that, and that ended up being the album cover. But basically, you sort of do a bunch of shots, and then when you see them back, say, okay, that'll be good for that, that'll be good for that. So funnily enough, when everyone was having a lunch break, Matthew Donaldson, the photographer, grabbed me and said, okay, I just want to do a shot with you in the corridor, and I don't want everyone fussing over you, so let's just run out and shoot that. And that ended up being the single cover for I Begin to Wonder, and I loved that shot. I Begin to Wonder was released with the album Neon Nights. This went on to become my biggest single ever, came in the charts, UK charts at #2, and just missed out on the #1 spot all week. It was a really tense week. We were just trailing behind Christina Aguilera and her song Beautiful. So I was fine because it's, you know, I knew Beautiful was a fantastic, fantastic song. So we're in good company. Because it was my biggest selling single ever, I had a party with a bunch of friends and all the people from my record company that had worked so hard, and it was absolutely a knockout time. I really felt, you know, so special, and that all the hard work had been worth it. Don't Want to Lose This Feeling video shoot. I worked with Phil Griffin again, who I did I Begin to Wonder with. We got on very well, and we wanted to do a video where we got out of the studio. So we decided it was a summer release, let's get on the beach. But to do something a little bit different, we thought we'd set it in nighttime. So video shoots take almost 24 hours. So when I arrived at the beach in the daytime, it was really intensely sunny. So I was actually being filmed inside a tent that was completely blacked off, so that it would match the nighttime scenes when we had people running around and dancing in amongst the cars and stuff. And everyone was saying, yeah, it's nice and warm on the beach. Until it got to the evening time when the crew had 3 puffer jackets on, and I'm there in the most minutely short dress with little straps. I mean, it was this much of a dress, and it was so cold. We wanted the video to look really hot and balmy and sweaty, and we think we achieved that. I think the video looks really good, but I cannot tell you how cold it was and how long the shoot was. I think I left the hotel at 8 a.m. in the morning to start dance rehearsals and learn the dance routine for the shoot. Went straight to the shoot, and I got back at about 8 a.m. the next morning. With having lots of hit singles in the charts for Neon Nights, I've done a lot of TV shows to promote the album. Promotions is also lots of radio, which is great because it's so immediate with people listening. And the best bit, all the performances. And I've done lots of performances all over the world with the Neon Nights. The biggest one had to be Party in the Park, which was performed and filmed in Hyde Park in London. And there was, and I even get giddy saying this, 100,000 people. It was a beautiful sunny day. A lot of my favourite pop performers were there, the Mystique Girls, the Atomic Kitten Girls, met up with Blue backstage. I was a big fan when I met Wheatus because they have one of my favourite pop songs ever called Dirtbag, and I got my tour manager to go up to their tour manager to say, can Dannii please have a picture with you? And I got some really, really cute snaps, which I keep on my computer. And then I was on stage just after Beyonce, which was, wow, amazing. So she was coming off, I was walking on stage. I can't tell you how frightened I was, really, really, really petrified. And I'd organised to have a little camera that one of the dancers took on stage for me, and my favourite bit was I got to film the whole audience just going mad, and it's just such a great memory to keep, great footage to have. I have almost had a secret desire, but something I never ever told anyone, that I wanted to be a radio DJ. You know, it's one of those things that you think you're never actually going to have the chance to do. I'm always on the other side of the interview. I have a lot of friends that radio DJ. And I got asked by Capital Network to come in and do my own radio show called Neon Nights. It was going out every Sunday, an hour of dance music. I played from old stuff to new stuff, bootlegs, things that had not even been released yet that I tracked down from DJ friends. And it was so much fun. I was given the producer, Bethan Davies, who'd worked with a friend of mine, Neil Fox, at Capital Network. And she was great fun. We get along really well. We know what each other's thinking, which you've got to on radio because she can't actually talk on air. So I sort of know what she's up to. It was really fun. I literally took in like folders of my own CDs from at home, and a lot of the other radio DJs were very jealous because I actually didn't have to stick to a playlist. I got to play my own stuff that I liked. The most incredible thing that I didn't even realize until I got in there was that I was going to have my own email address at the Capital Network, and fans were emailing me during the week, but also when I was live on air. So I'm reading their emails, responding to their questions on air. Plus we had a webcam in the studio, and I remember there's a guy, Alec from Slovenia, who was tuning in on his laptop, and so I wrote a note to him and ran up to the webcam to say, "Hi, Slovenia!" And even people tuned in from Australia, and I believe it was about 4 a.m. on a Monday morning with the time difference, so it was an incredible show. Neon Nights, it's been such a good year. I've even won awards, which has, you know, been amazing. I've got this one here, which is the Capital Award for Rhythm, the Rhythm Capital Award, which is like Best Dance Song. Very heavy award, very good. I went along to the Capital Awards, didn't even know that I was nominated, and then I'm sitting at my table and I get called up on the stage and I've won. So I was really happy. It's great acknowledgement that I'm really a part of the dance music scene in London. And I also got the Disney Channel Kids Award for Best Female 2003. It was really sticky competition, again up against Christina Aguilera, Miss Dynamite, a bunch of very, very talented females who I adore. And this is voted by all the kids who watch the Disney Channel. And I guess these are the kids that, you know, make our singles go very high in the charts. So really a pleasure to win this. The best award probably for the year was for an album that I've co-written and co-produced. I managed to get a gold disc in the UK, which has got pride of place in my apartment. I also got a couple of gold discs that I picked up in Australia, and that's an amazing achievement and really good fun to be able to call up mum and dad and say, "Hey, guess what? Had a great week this week."